the end of the line. "Nah," he says, disappointed. "It ain't no fish. I'm snagged on something." "Huh?" Reggie says. "Wonder what it could be." One benefit of fishing in the aqueduct is that it's relatively free of debris. Compared to a river or lake, there are few logs, branches, and rocks. Snagging a hook on something is relatively uncommon. "Whatever it is, it's going to break my line if I'm not careful." Reggie picks up his fishing net and kneels down at the edge of the slope. "Get it close to the surface and I'll try to get the net on it. Whatever it is." Reggie reaches with the 3-foot-long handle and dips the teardrop-shaped loop down into the water. He feels something large, maybe a log, and gets the net over it. He heaves and is surprised by the weight. He can't believe Pat's line hasn't broken already. "What is it?" Pat asks. "Can't see it," Reggie groans with the effort of trying to pull the thing up without falling into the water. What soon surfaces from the water, Reggie's fishing net all tangled around it, is a human head, with the rest of the body visible just below the surface of the water. The face belongs to a man, its skin ghoulishly pale, its eyes sunken and milky, inside cavernous sockets. A tongue pokes from the mouth like a swollen purple leech. "Holy shit!" Reggie shouts, letting go of the net's aluminum handle as if it has suddenly become scalding hot. Pat jerks his pole in terror, and the line finally snaps. The body bobs at the surface for a moment, before it begins to sink again. Before it disappears back into the murk, pulling the fishing net down with it, they can see that a heavy chain, like a vehicle tow cable, is wrapped around its shoulders and torso. Reggie and Pat stare at the surface of the water, their chests heaving. "Did I just see what I thought I saw?" Pat says. "I'm afraid so," Reggie says. "What do we do?" "What do you think?" "We get the hell out of here and go call the police." 2. Oakland, California, September 19th, 1980. Kate Wright is holding her son, 6-week-old Jeremy, at the kitchen table when her husband Eric comes into the room for breakfast. The baby boy fell asleep while nursing, and as Kate rises to put him in his crib, Eric kisses her on the forehead, careful not to jar the baby awake. He stands there for a moment, looking at his son cradled in his wife's arms. "What an angel," he whispers, smiling. Kate loves Eric's smile. It lights up his whole face with an expression of pure joy. That's one reason she fell in love with him. He's always happy, always smiling. As Kate settles the baby into his crib in the bedroom, Eric pours himself a bowl of Kellogg's Frosted Mini-Wheats. Kate's tired from being up with the baby, but she comes back out to sit with Eric while he eats. She wants to spend a few minutes with her husband before he heads out for the day. "I'm so glad you don't work for the sheriff's office anymore," she says. "Me too," Eric agrees. "I worried all day long," Kate says. "I kept thinking something bad was going to happen." "Nothing bad was going to happen to me," Eric says, taking a bite of his cereal. Eric resigned from the sheriff's office last year. At 31 years old, he'd been a lieutenant, the youngest person ever to achieve that rank in Alameda County. But he'd claimed the job had become too boring. Although that's his usual excuse, Kate suspects he really quit to assuage her fears. Plus, they had the baby on the way, and Eric already has 2 older children from a previous marriage to help support. So she figures he wanted to find a more lucrative career anyway. Maybe he called police work boring to protect his reputation or his own ego. But whatever the reason, she's genuinely thankful that he changed careers. After he resigned from the sheriff's department, Eric took a job in a precious metals firm. He surprised Kate with his enthusiasm for the job, learning everything he could about the gold and silver business. She wouldn't have thought a man like her husband, always craving